hand. The Lord said to his disciples, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hid. Nor do men light a lamp and put it under a bushel, but on a stand, that it gives light to all in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Think not that I have come to abolish the law and the prophets. I have come not to abolish, but to fulfill them. For truly I say to you, all heaven and earth may pass away, and not an iota nor a dot will be changed from the law. For whoever releases one of these least of these commandments and teaches them to men, so shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But he who does them and teaches them shall be called Today, we remember and commemorate the 630 fathers, the largest of all the groups who were at an ecumenical council of the church. This took place in 451 AD. What was the controversy that they were settling? As you all know, that every time there was an ecumenical council, it wasn't held for the opportunity of gathering people together in a sense of fellowship and sharing with one another. It was usually brought about by a great turmoil that was caused within the church. And the turmoil at that time was so great that it actually split the church into three different parts. There were those who believed that Jesus was God and God alone, nothing more, nothing less. There were those who believed that Jesus was a very nice and holy man. And there were those who believed that Jesus was truly God and truly man, complete in both of those characteristics. Now I know maybe this might be difficult for you and I to imagine that we could be like God, that we could even attempt or pretend to be like God. Well, the truth of the matter is we cannot. But we can aspire to it. We can reach towards that goal. The whole concept, the whole meaning of our faith is that we are attempting to reach the glory of God and to be divine, even as the Father is divine, and the Son is divine, and likewise even the Holy Spirit is divine. Yet at the same time, Jesus was man. He ate, he drank, he was concerned about the life about him. He lived the life of a human being. He functioned like you and I. I don't know whether he had a headache or not. He might have, because of the people that surrounded him giving him the headache. But he was like us, and in taking on our character, he gives us the opportunity to reach towards the divine. The morning's gospel tells us that he spoke to his disciples and he said to them, You are the light of the world. What was he saying? If you recall the book of Genesis, the first thing that God called into order was, let there be light. Light is the creating power. All of us who study biology know that the light from the sun comes down to the earth, and by some strange and remote way, it changes vegetation into fruitful, productive products for us to attain and to participate in. So the light was the light that was the light, the sun, giving us nourishment through that light. But it was also another kind of light. Because without the light, we do not see. And if we do not see, we walk in a darkness of ignorance. And the darkness of ignorance condemns us to fall into the traps that those who said, no, he is not God, or no, he is not man. Those people who fell into that ignorance were suddenly illumined by those fathers that many, many years ago, 451 A.D., in the city of Chalcedon. We don't even know where that is. But it is important on the map of our faith. Because on the map of our faith, it defines and declares to all mankind, Jesus isn't some nice guy. He is the Son of God. Jesus isn't an all-powerful God who has no compassion upon man because he does not understand the nature of man. He understands the nature of man because he took flesh. And he understands our aches, our pains, our desires, our thoughts. So those fathers defined for us once and for all the fact of who Jesus was. And in defining that fact, it gave to us the opportunity to reach towards God. Let your light so shine before men, so that your good works can be known throughout all mankind. This is the word which Jesus spoke to his apostles. But he simply didn't speak to them alone. But he speaks to us today and now. Who in the world wants to walk up to someone with a grouchy face? I don't want to see them. They take away my joy if I can ever have it. But what I want to see is a person whose countenance beams and radiates with happiness, joy, and love. That's your light shining before men. Your light shining before men is when we can have a creative and fulfilling experience with one another. To put it quite simply, we have to imitate Christ in the teachings of the fathers of Chalcedon. Even though we be human, sinful creatures, we can bear the light of Christ, which brought the world into being, the light which illumines all things, the light which lifts up man from the depths of ignorance and destruction to attain to the glory of Christ. The light of God is a divine light. And you